You like my 80s hair? Do you remember this? It was like always really poofy, right? I have 80s hair today. So my hair is sort of curly. It's sort of straight and sort of curly, but it's raining today. So it's all over the place. I don't know what it's doing. And I'm okay when I'm doing pretty good. I'm on my 5th day of being vegan. And I have to say, I'm pretty gassy. I just hate that changeover. My body always rebels during that period of time, that changeover time. I embarrassed myself. It's embarrassing. Anyway, yep. And I can't seem to get like enough food inside of me. So I'm constantly eating. Let's see, I made mushroom, like I can't remember what the big mushroom is called. It's like a big, huge mushroom. And I did everything I could to make it taste like meat. It's all right. And I know there's really hardcore vegans out there that say, why do you try and make it taste like meat? You're going vegan, it's vegetables. I know. And I don't even really like meat either. But I just like the texture and the feel. It came out okay. I had squash and in like a mushroom liquid type of that what is it? That liquid smoke. It's pretty good. But you know, I'm always hungry. Oh, this month I didn't think of the memorial. And it was just a couple days ago, right? Whoa. Yeah, that's like big for me. I totally forgot. And I wasn't going to try and, once I forgot, I'm like, hey, it's fine. I don't have to remember. A friend of mine had told me she had been invited and by mama. And yeah, all my people who invite me are dead or don't talk to me anymore. So there we go. It's all over. March 31st. Haven't read it. Here we go. The chief danger in life is that you may take too many precautions. Alfred Adler, 1870 to 1937. Some Alkies haven't been in a bar since they have gave up drinking. They would be offended if offered a de-alcoholized beer. There was a time when some of us put into our bodies any substance that would take us up, down, sideways, or backward. But now, in recovery, we are closed-minded to mental health medications because we are suddenly pill averse. Some of us lived carelessly, and now we overcompensate with our kids, never comfortable with them being out of our sight or playing games that could lead to injury. Pre-recovery was a life of extremes. It's little wonder that in recovery, living life like a loose garment does not come easy. Rigid thinking or hardening of the attitudes is the challenge when we really need to find middle ground. Recovery gives us choices. Cautious of our decision-making at first, we ask ourselves, am I deciding or reacting? What we want to ask ourselves or discuss with a trusted confidant is whether or not we are considering the pros and cons of each choice. What toothpaste brand to buy may not require a personal inventory, but bigger decisions may conjure up our fear. Fear is an acronym in the rooms, false evidence appearing real. Fear can paralyze us and be a killjoy. Abstinence from the drug of our choice is wise, but do we have to be so absolute in every area of life? Taking chances and getting things wrong is part of the human experience, and being more human is the objective of recovery. We made a mess of life. No wonder we can tend to be overly cautious. But it's good to let loose once in a while. In what areas of my life am I rigid? When am I carefree and flexible? Is freedom of choice part of my natural rhythm, or am I driven by risk aversion or boundless need? So for me, when it says offended if offered a de-alcoholized beer, I'll drink a beer, but not the one with alcohol. But even the one with a little tiny bit of alcohol tends to still affect me. So I have to be really, really careful what kind it is, right? And so, but I like it every now and then. I think I had a stout and it was really gross and it made me really sick. So I haven't had one since then. It was that darker beer, like Irish kind of, it's not really it's just a stout. I don't know how to explain it other than that. It's dark and black and it tastes terrible. That non-alcoholic one, it didn't taste good. Didn't settle in my stomach well. I don't mind doing that. I know, but I am not an alcoholic. I'm an Al-Anon member dealing with ghosts, right? People who have died that were alcoholics. I definitely have alcoholism in my genes. Yeah, so I have to be really careful. Recovery, closed-mindedness when it comes to health medication because we're suddenly pill averse. I know there's pills out there that can help all, if you're struggling with alcoholism. So there is a pill out there that can help you. I am careful with what I take when it comes to medications, and that's just because I know that doctors will prescribe or overprescribe medications. So I'm always really careful how I can feel my body and how much I need, right? But I take medication, so that's how I can survive. Kids, some of us are never comfortable letting our kids be out of our sight, and that games that they could play could lead to injury. As a homeschool mom, I remember listening to a mom once, and she said, "Hey, if they're gonna play with sticks and smack each other with sticks, they'll learn what hurts after a while, right? You give them the stick and they start whacking each other, they're gonna hurt. So they'll stop, right? That's how they'll learn. And if you have to intervene, fine, but the kids they kind of get, oh, that kind of hurt me. Stop, don't do it so hard. They'll vocalize it, and then they'll kind of ease up on that game. Of course, I mean, every child is different, but that's how my kids were. I let them climb the tree. If they climbed the tree and they got a little scratched up, if they fell a little hard on their bum, yeah, they'll learn not to climb so far, or they'll learn that, yeah, what goes up must come down, and the scratches, and do they really want to rip their pants that they just got? So some of that stuff they have to learn on their own. Rigid thinking or hardening of the attitudes is a challenge, right? And we need to always find a middle ground. Now with me, right, with trying to be plant-based, I mean, somebody put a plate of food and that they were doing that out of their gracious hearts. I'm not going to deny it, right? You eat it and you say thank you. But there's so much out there now. And beans and rice. Right now, everybody's in a beans and rice. We're all challenged monetarily. If you've been in an organization where you have taken the vow of poverty, then yeah, you're a little bit challenged when it comes to money. So simple things are always yummy. They're always yummy. So, and you can make beans and rice taste so delicious. And with the right people around you, there's that bowl of beans tastes, it's delicious. To taste never better, right? It's all that love around you and the table. Oh, yum. It's absolutely delicious. Fear, right? False evidence appearing real. Fear can paralyze us and be a killjoy, and that's true, right? In every aspect of our life, we can just make ourselves go crazy. I was listening to a doctor himself who deals with anxiety. He was a high anxiety doctor dealing with anxiety himself. He helped others. And he said for 10 minutes, he wrote down all the things that made him scared. For 10 minutes, he gave himself 10 minutes to just write it all down. And that is what helped him to just get it on paper and get it out into the universe and let it go. My daughter says, Mom, don't manifest it. It's not about manifesting it. It's about just letting it go, right? And not letting it ball itself up in here or in your tummy and just stay there sitting. It's like letting it out and just pushing it out of you. And we have a lot of fears. As we were born and raised in an organization, that's how they ran it. Fear of the world around us and the ramifications of making the wrong decision and not trusting yourself. And no, you can trust yourself. You can do that. You have intuition. It might have been kind of scrambled up in there, but you have that deep inside of you. So you're okay. You're okay. Just listen to yourself. Stay quiet and spend some time with yourself and your thoughts. Write them down. Taking chances and getting things wrong is part of the human experience, right? Making mistakes. And being more human is the objective of recovery. We made a mess of life. No wonder we can tend to be overly cautious, but it's good to let loose once in a while, right? To let go. And growing up in an alcoholic home, because my dad was an alcoholic, there was always that anxiety in the home that always was there. There was a layer of anxiety that just never ever went away. And when my dad would fall off the wagon, which would generally be every 4 years, he would fall off the wagon. And he would be rip-roaring drunk. And there was really nothing we could do. We just had to let it happen. And my mom would be the crazy one and make everything crazy in the house. But there was nothing we could do. It was what it was. And, well, I loved my dad and my mom in her crazy narcissistic way. I mean, they stayed together. And so, yeah. Rigidity. I try really hard not to be rigid in my life. I realize that you can have a lot of flexibility. Is it easy? No, because that's not how I was raised. I was raised to think a certain way, do it a certain way at a certain time. So all of that is gone and I can do it my way. It was nice not to think about the memorial this year. It was nice not to have to. I just didn't even think about it. It didn't even come into nope, it wasn't anywhere around me. So it didn't even come up. Like I said, a friend had called me and she's like, oh, I got invited. I'm like, oh, all my people are dead. So yeah, I don't even get invited. And I don't even know if I would recognize the people at my memorial anymore if they're you know, all dressed up, and if the women are dressed in pants and the dudes are wearing beards, right? I mean, yeah, I don't think I would recognize them. And it's funny because even when there was more strict rules about what we wear and what we look like, sometimes it's hard to identify. It was hard to identify certain people outside of the Kingdom Hall. I mean, they just didn't look the same. So I can't even imagine what it would be like now. I just don't know. I probably would just pass them and not even recognize them because they look so different, especially the men. Yeah, glad that glad that it's over. It's raining. It's raining. Glad that I don't have to deal with that anymore. I don't have to worry about that kind of ridiculousness. I have a beautiful rainy day. I'm looking outside of my window and I don't know if you can hear the birdies, but the birdies are out there and it's wet. It was supposed to stop at around 10 o'clock, but it didn't, and that's okay. I'm enjoying the rain. I hope that you're finding this day to be restful and you and your family members are doing well. I'm sorry if you had to go to the memorial, right? I'm sorry if you had to put up with that. I'm sure, I know some of you had to, just so that it could be peaceful in your home. That's not easy. But, well, hopefully you had some earbuds and you could pop somebody that you liked to listen to on, right? Or you could think about other things in your mind and that could kind of take you through the, what is it now? Is it 45 minutes that you had to listen to? Yeah. And then you could look forward to the food that was going to be prepared. Hopefully. That was always something the girls and I always look forward to, is the food. The goodies and hope, you know, the pies and cakes and whatever it is that was there for you to enjoy. And I don't even know if they do that anymore. I mean, everything is just poo-pooed all the time to just being together. Any sort of group kind of thing, it was always, after a while, was always poo-pooed. Oh, well, you know, so-and-so isn't invited and they'd get their feelings hurt. And if they couldn't invite that person, then it's better not to invite the group because they're, you know, you have only so many people that you could invite comfortably in your home. What a mess. So yeah, if not, fine. But yes, something fun for you and your children, possibly. That's what I always did. I would always try and find something I could purchase and then come home and then we'd eat it and we'd have fun with Dad. We'd still enjoy ourselves. And Dad wouldn't come. No way. I think he stopped coming to the memorial after like maybe, I think we had returned from Virginia and did 1 year after that. No more. So yeah, it was just nice to come home to my husband. I just wanted to be home at that point, especially in the evening. If it was late in the evening, I didn't want to stay out by myself. So that was what I wanted to do, and to come home. If you're here in California, enjoy the rain. If Southern California, right? If you're down here in Southern California, enjoy the rain because we don't get it very often and it's going to be hot this summer. So it's just the right amount of cool. My husband's getting tired of it though. He's like, can it stop raining already? So, but I'm not really looking forward to summertime. It's going to be hot. And last summer was, the last couple of years have been very humid. So that isn't something I like. I like it to be hot, but a dry heat, not humid. I hope all is well. I hope you and your families are doing well. So I'll let you go. Follow your bliss and be good humans.